My name is Kenneth Bird. My company is ILEG Technology Screens. I'm looking at some email over here on my other PC. Hmm. Mm-hmm. That's easy enough. It's not even hard to install. All right. And look at the pictures they were sending me over. All right. So, yeah, that is upon looking upon this email multiple times that we received from Fernando, who is the person who went in and did the first one who started all this nonsense about how our products were fake and we're scammers and rip-off artists and that we can't be trusted. And he's done tons and tons of reviews on our products, and our products don't work, which for some strange reason they work every place else. Every place we go, they pick up. I got to be on site today for Apex. So why aren't you guys rushing to take us to court? Because I find it interesting that Fernando sent us a letter telling us that there's no proof, no point in pursuing him in court because he can't be found. Now, for a person who made all these accusations that our products weren't real, we're fake and scammers, he should be jumping at the opportunity to go to court and handle this. He does not want to handle this. He doesn't even want to step into a courtroom. Now, there's a number of reasons why, because, Fernando doesn't have documents, but keep in mind, we could do this through video. We could do this through video conference, which that's what the CCP would have been. It'd have been through video conference. But he could have filed. He could have easily filed with the courts and say, hey, look, there's a fellow over there, I believe at the end of the day his products are scams, he's a rip-off artist, you could have filed a police complaint. You didn't file any of those. You could have filed any form of criminal charges, which have been same as police. None of those were filed. So let me get this straight. So these trolls who maliciously attack our company, none of you have filed a police complaint. See, this is what's going to come up in court. When you go to court in front of a judge, they're going to ask, if this guy was this person, why didn't any of you file a police report? You know why you didn't file a police report? Because you knew that at the end of the day, we could back the product up. That's why. And that would have got you in trouble with the law. See, that's what I told you. You guys, when we go to court, are screwed. There are so many ways things can go south in a courtroom. And one of the things that will come up, why didn't you file a police report against me? The reason why there is no police report, because at the end of the day, you know deep down, darn well, that the product we have does work. And what you're doing is out of anger and jealousy, which is going to cost you a 20-year prison sentence. I just got finished watching a documentary about how prisons are set up today. Oh my goodness. I am so glad that I did my time when when prisons were designed where the guard walked through. You guys are in for a world of craziness. I'm glad I did my time that way instead of how they do it now. You have no idea the madness. I just watched 20 videos on this. I can't believe they still do that too. On top pods, they stick you in a pod, you're in a lot of trouble. You're in a lot of trouble. A lot of chaos goes on in pods. It's almost like they gave the prisoner like a kind of free will to pretty much almost do what they want to do in these pods. Because there's no guards in there to monitor anything until something really heavy pops off. But crazy about it, they get you in a cut or a corner somewhere, you're done. You're absolutely done. It's like they gave them the ability to govern their own unit, like rules and regulations. They have, oh my goodness, I still can't believe it did. It's kind of like, it looks like something like out of a movie where they send prisoners to a certain island and they have to basically come up with their own rules and regulations on this island. That literally what pods look like to me. Because again, like I said, when I was coming up, it was anything like that at all, period. We had guards on the floor 24/7. So that means 24/7 with guards on the floor. Things did pop off, but not on that level. Not on that level. I'm like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Yeah, you don't want to get locked up. You stick you in one of them things, but at the end of the day, you are done in there. Anything can happen to you in a pod. So, yeah, you guys, at the end of the day, got problems. You got some serious problems. Any one of them charges in that black bag, you guys get pulled in for this, you're in trouble. They send you to a pod system. But anyway, Enough about that. I still can't believe they do that. But anyway, but if I'm this person, where are the criminal charges at? Fernando literally sent us a letter telling us, hey, good luck trying to find me. I don't have paperwork. I can't be found. That doesn't sound like a person who would say, hey, I can't wait to see you in court. I got evidence 100% that your product doesn't work. I have never heard any of y'all say that. So where's the charges at? I've got umpteen text messages from you guys claiming to have lawyers. We've never had a lawyer contact us. Text messages will be used against you in court. And they were traced back to your cell phone provider, by the way. So you sent me text messages saying, oh, we'll see you in court. I'm going to sue you for this and sue you for that. What's going on? Where are the reports? I have police reports. Where are your reports at? You don't have any, do you? At all, period. Send a process server to Fernando's front door. Showing him at the end of the day he can be reached. He can be found. He can be touched at the end of the day. It's not hard for us to reach out to you. And what happened in that? Oh, he hid in the kitchen. That don't sound like a person who basically could back his claim, who could run out there and just take. Why would you send your wife to the door? And I was, like I said, I was on the phone. I heard everything, the whole conversation. His wife came to the door. And he was in the kitchen somewhere because I can hear him muffling in the background. Oh, I wish that was a warrant for his arrest, man. It took that cage clean off the door. But anyway, why would you send your wife to the door if you could basically back up what you said? So what it tells us, since we don't have any police reports on our end, we don't have any contact from any attorneys, that tells us that you have no evidence at all and you can't back up your claim, which means lawsuits just jumped. That means they're now to $3 million. So each one of you are going to be sued in federal court for $3 million. They just jumped by a lot. I was just talking to a lawyer. I was like, wait a minute. The lawyer came back and said, wait a minute. How come none of these people never filed anything against you? They said, we don't have no police reports. We don't have nothing here at all. Like, for a person that they claim that was such a huge scammer and a ripoff artist, how come there's no reports filed at all, period? Do you know what they're looking for when they get you in court? They're looking for automatic. Now at $3 million, but they're looking for 20 years in jail. They're trying to get you 20 years. You can't do 20 years in a pod system. Man, what goes on in there, you can't even sleep in there. If you sleep in, they dump water on you when you sleep. That's crazy. That's the most craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. We never had that incident where people could dump water on you when you sleep. Never. Whew, man. Well, you see now you see more of this. I think you see more of what goes on inside the prison because now a lot of them have cell phones inside. Well, we never had cell phones inside. Never, ever had a cell phone inside. Ever. But now they have cell phones inside and they can broadcast what goes on inside. And I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it. I find also too interesting that the food that they're able to make at the end of the day, if you do happen to get out of that system, take that skill level and make some money off of it. Because that is interesting. I've never seen anything like that. They make food out of pretty much nothing. Like the ingredients and the stuff they make is out of nothing. That's money right there. That is serious money. You have figured out a way to take ingredients and turn them into something amazing. Okay, when you get out of that system, go get yourself a nice little restaurant. No, you can't get a restaurant. There's so many different ways you can sell. You don't need a restaurant until you build up to get one. Take that skill level and do something with it. Some of these guys that get out, they started a YouTube channel. There was no YouTube channel when I was coming up. But they started a YouTube channel explaining the whole ins and outs and warning people about it. And they're doing pretty good. That's glad. I'm glad they're doing something good. That's great. But yeah, you got some skill level, something you learned in there. Yeah, take it out there and take it in the real world. Make some money off. You'd be surprised. A lot of people made money in COVID because they figured out different ways and different hacks to get around things they were doing every single day that became popular in COVID because people needed these things to survive through COVID. So take that out there and do something positive with that. But other than that, these guys at the end of the day, you're done. You're definitely done. You don't have no evidence. Basically, we can back our product on multiple levels. Our history dates back to 15 years. We have just about engineered everything you could possibly think of. We have tons of customers. We had customer show demonstration on a 38 Black Widow, showed it right next to a projector, 1400 lumens, but yet a 3000 lumen projector, tried 4K, couldn't pick up an Apex. Yeah, you guys are screwed on so many levels. The lawsuits are going to be staggering. There's no way in the world you're going to escape a $3 million lawsuit. You're done. And then the thing about it, it's not the money, it's your time we want from you. It's not money, it's time. Because I know time being sent to a unit like that, what they look like now, oh my goodness, that's beyond. That's worse. That's the most crazy. I couldn't even explain the situation what you're about to go to. I think you should educate yourself and watch these videos. I know you feel at the end of the day that it's going to happen, buddy. And I tell you why it's going to happen. Two things why this is going to happen. Well, number one, we got a ton of evidence. We know where you're at. But one of the things, too, for those of you who think we don't know where you're at, God is going to bring you to justice. We prayed on this. That's why a lot of these people now are being dug up and found, because we prayed on this, and God is bringing these people to justice. Number two, the devil himself, the one you actually listened to, that had you do all this dumb stuff to begin with, his final plan is to make sure you end up in the system like that. Because if you end up in the system in that, the rate of being able to get rid of you actually jumps by 100% from what I just saw. That's why. He's figuring out, look, if I get you in enough trouble, maybe I can get you killed in the process of the trouble, or maybe I can get you killed while you're in the system from the trouble. You get sent to one of those units, you're in a lot of trouble. You're in a lot of trouble if they send you to any one of those units. But anyway, as I said before, the devil's going to follow through. The devil is definitely going to follow through to make sure you end up in the system. Why do you think a lot of your information, you guys snitched on yourselves? You told us exactly where you were at. Like McAfee. McAfee hit her Facebook account. His account was open. The devil told you to go in and attack my Facebook account and carry on and act up, right? Well, when you came in, your account was fully open. Now, I know you went and made some changes to your account, but that's too late. We're able to duplicate your entire account. We know exactly which state you were in. We know exactly the population of your town. And keep in mind, with a good detective and a population of only 800, only 800, we could track you down within a day. Probably less than a day they could find you. 800 isn't hard to find someone. I can find people in a baseball stadium at 5,000. So it's not hard to find 800. Yeah, that's really not hard to find at all, period. But anyway, your location, it would be easy to find. So with that being said, how come none of you guys have filed any charges? You've made all these claims that I'm this person, right? You said my product doesn't work. You said I'm a scammer, I'm a rip-off artist. You know, we've been doing this for years. Where is your evidence? So when we get to court, I'm going to make sure that attorney drills holes all through you. I'm going to make sure you confess all types of stuff. Keep in mind, this is not going to be an easy process. This is going to be a long, excruciating process. We're going to take our time on this. Because I want you to know at the end of the day that everything you kept hidden is going to be out in the open. It's going to be documented on the court records for me to basically post for everyone to read. I will be including your mugshots when you get arrested. And if we're able to get any form of police cam of you being arrested at the time of the incident, it will be posted to our new website. So, again, where's the evidence at? Now, those of you who made statements about saying that we use special camera equipment, how does that work when I'm on site and there's a bunch of people walking around me? That's going to cost you a lot of money. We got you on camera saying it. McAfee, I got him on camera saying that we use 5,000 projectors in order to get the screens to produce higher white levels. That is going to cost him a lot of money. McAfee is going to be sued beyond belief. McAfee is not going to have enough money. Matter of fact, the word broke is an understatement of how bad it's going to be for him. Mind you, he's going to be sued by the other, people who use the bar without permission. They're definitely going to sue him. They're definitely going to sue him. Use my bar without my permission to commit a crime to the United States Postal Service. They're definitely going to sue him. That reminds me too, where's that document at? Because I got to contact somebody else about him today too. There's another agency I got to reach out about McAfee. So yeah, they're definitely going to sue you. They're definitely going to sue you. We're suing you. And then on top of that, because you're involved with Mr. Williams' nonsense involving the United States Postal Service, and Williams is now involved with the police, you also too are involved with that also too, because you've been contacting the building too. You've been sending letters here. You've been sending letters other places. So we made sure the police knew that you were involved in that too with Mr. Williams. You and Mr. Williams and PC King were involved in contacting the building. So you're added in with that black bag. Also too, post office inspector, you've been added in with that too also. Letting them know that you live in Flushington, Ohio. Your population's 800. That's what we found out. And everything that's on your Facebook page has been submitted there. So with that being said, it's not going to be hard for them to find you. It's not going to be hard to find any of you at all, period. But again, if I was all this at the end of the day, my lawyer's going to ask you, where are the criminal charges? That's the one thing that the landlord was looking at when you guys made all the money. He's been here multiple times to see the screens. When he said at the end of the day, he knows what you are. He calls you haters. You're haters. That's what you are. Because that's what it comes down to. If you're watching us pop up and freaking, I mean, we've been doing this for years. You're watching all these demonstrations before you guys even existed, I was doing. And yet you say you know me? How do you know me from 10 years back? See, these are the problems you have that are not going to do well for you in the court system. And I guarantee you, any lawyer you get, I guarantee you, when they reach out to us, I bet you I can get them to drop your case. Mind you, you made a statement that our product is unwatchable. It comes out black, unwatchable, unseeable, as Jamie did in his report, right? You're going to have to be able to convince a lawyer that this is how our product works. I can bring the lawyer down. He can actually go to one of the setups that we go to, and he can watch us install the screen right in front of the owner, or we can paint it right in front of it, or he can paint it himself. I mean, he's going to drop your case. So you can't get an attorney. That's why no attorneys are reaching us. That's why we have no one reaching us. Because the lawyers are looking at that. How come there's no one reaching them? There's no police reports. There's nothing here. For a person they're making these big claims about all over online that he's supposed to be. Nothing. So gentlemen, let me give you a little something to get nervous about today. We are requesting 20 years. That's what we want on our behalf. We feel that because you came in and maliciously, as a group, we want a conspiracy charge pulled because you guys worked as a group, like a gang, to gang up on one individual, to spread false information, to go out and do fake unboxings on our products. Look how bad this sounds when we get in front of a judge. Fake unboxing on our product, to continue to spread false lies about our business so you can try to make our business collapse. So we are requesting a minimum of 20 years for each individual. Now mind you, that's from us. When the post office, for some of you are going to get in trouble for the post office, you're going to reach 30 years because you're definitely going to hit the 30-year mark. From what Mr. Williams and you guys have been doing, you're definitely kicking that 30-year mark. So imagine 20 and 30, that's about 50 years right there. And that's not including the little stuff, the fillers in, like, you know, the cyber harassment and all that stuff can carry 7 years, 5 years, 10 years. They can add up. So you can roughly get about 60, 70 years easy out of this mess. And you're going to spend that in a pod unit. I'm going to tell you something. That is going to be a crossroad. You're going to have to pick up that cross. Because in that place, what I just saw, I just watched 60 videos on this last night. If that place is what I think it is, you're in a lot of danger. You're in extreme danger if they stick you in one of those pods. You're going to have to find God. You're going to need him. You're definitely going to need him in that place. You definitely going to need him. I'm so shocked over it. I've never seen anything like it. When I was coming up, we never had anything like that. We weren't even allowed out of the cages. Once we were put in the cages, we weren't allowed out of those cages. There were guards constantly on the floor, walking back and forth. That whole open area where they're at, where they sit at and they eat and all that stuff, there were no inmates in there. Anybody from old school knows this already. Inmates are all in cages. When you came in from the mess hall, you went right back to your cage. You didn't have that room area right there. That didn't even exist. Every once in a while, they let them doors open. They let you roam for a little bit. That's it. But there were guards always on the floor. Tons of guards on the floor. They were always watching. Not like what I just saw. Gee whiz, they could get away with just about anything they want. I saw one video where basically, like, the neglect is crazy from the guards. They had one incident where it was raining. The ice storm we had was raining. It was literally raining inside the unit, raining. inside the unit. There are people on that K2 that are all twisted up and overdoses and all kinds of stuff. People sleeping in corners, people sleeping outside because they might get kicked out by their bunkie. Their bunkie might not want them in there, and they out there sleeping out in the hallway. That's what y'all facing at the end of the day. That is absolute craziness. People are getting stabbed and all kinds of stuff. I mean, people got shanked the other end, but this. I mean, you got no guards in there. You can really make anything you want. To tell you the truth, honestly. Fights breaking out, all types of stuff. It's crazy. Yeah, I've never seen anything like it. Man, shoot, I'm glad I did my time that way, man. I had 8 years, or 10 years. I did 8 years and 9 months of it, but I couldn't imagine being in one of those units. And that's what y'all facing? It fits it. It fits what you did. You did touch a Christian at the end of the day. You're going to need God on so many levels. They put you in that place down there. They put you in one of those pods. You're going to need God on so many levels. It's not even funny how much you're going to need God on so many levels. Y'all hit it. That's a real dangerous area y'all about to go into. And especially if you're going there and you ain't got no ties in any way whatsoever to anybody. You just out in the open. And what they call the term for it is called fresh meat. Or good gracious, man. Well, I'm gonna give you one piece of advice. I seen somebody put a video out. Everybody knew. People who knew, they knew not to do it. Because there's a bunch of rules in there you're going to have to follow. A bunch of rules. Especially when you're with your bunkie. These are a bunch of rules you're going to have to follow. You mess up on these rules, there's consequences. A lot of painful consequences if you mess up on these. You guys are going to learn. You'll learn when you're in the system. Some people who basically got caught up in that bag, at the end of the day, you've been through the system. So you already know the deal. But some of these other ones that have a little bit of a privileged life, it's going to be a nightmare for you in there because you have no type of street skills whatsoever. Like McAfee would survive in a place like that. Rogers? Oh, heck no, Rogers open game. There's no way in the world. Even if I saw him in his open game, that's potential easy money. Because I know he got something on him. It's crazy, but that's true. It's how it functions. It's how it works. I'm not sitting there trying to tell you stuff that ain't true. It's how they can pick and choose. And keep in mind, they're going to test you. They're going to test you to see if you're going to throw hands. If you don't throw hands, they're going to start you. That's what's going to happen. You easy money. To a person that's sitting there doing maybe 20 years in there, you're going to make my life a little more comfortable because maybe you got people at home that got some money. I mean, you put money on my books. There's a lot of stuff you can do. Or somehow I'm going to get you in debt and you're going to have to owe me. That's why I said if you find anything on your bed, don't touch it. You find any honey buns, cigarettes, whatever, don't touch it. Because your cell's wide open. They're going to be in there and drop stuff on your cell. Especially if it's like that. And the one guy was sitting there talking about if you find stuff on your bed, eat it. Just eat it. You know what I mean? Just enjoy it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because if you eat something off that bed, that means the person who put it on is going to come for it. Now, if it ain't nothing on there and he didn't eat it and you give it back to him and say, hey, thank you for your offer, but I'm good, then he's just going to walk out the door. You know what I mean? He may not. You might want to throw, you may not. But most likely he's probably going to walk out. But if you eat something off there, he's going to say, now you owe me. And you're going to owe him a lot. I mean, a lot. And it could be a number of things you could owe him. And I'm sorry, I got to say it this way. It could be ba-ba-ba-ba, and a better way to put it. Or it could be you got to work for him, clean his drawers and all that stuff, whatever. Or, it could be other things, but you're going to owe him. You could end up taking a sticky bun that probably much out in the street would probably roughly cost you about, I don't even eat those things, probably like, $2-3. Over there, it costs you $35. It'll cost you $40, $50, $100. Just for a sticky bun. You're going to end up, that's the guys at the bottom. The guy said, don't touch it, because you'll end up paying 10 folds back. And he ain't joking. You did serious. You will pay 10 folds back. So that's one of the rules you have to learn when you go through there. But there's a ton of rules you have to learn. And these aren't rules basically for respect. These are rules for survival. So you can make it day after day after day. I got to go meet with that detective today so I can get any email address and send the rest of the stuff over. So all that stuff you guys were sending over, that stuff is being used against you in court. And to think that you can't be found, and oh, please don't entertain that thought at all. That's one of the biggest lies Satan's will ever tell you, to keep doing dumb stuff. That no one will find you. Yeah, yeah. Don't believe that. That's a bad one. That's a bad one. That's he told me that one. Yeah, it didn't work out too well, did it? No, no, no. So, like I said, again, where the charges at? I don't see no. I heard so many people at the end of the day, oh, we're going to call this and you're going to jail and this is going to happen and you're going to jail. Where's the proof? Where's everything at? From this person at the end of the day. Ain't nothing there. All that is jealousy. But guess what that jealousy costs you? That jealousy costs you 20 years of your life. Probably a lot more than that when the rest of the charges kick in. A lot more than that. Because they're going to get you for terroristic threats. They're going to get you for a lot of stuff. They're going to pad your charges up. And your attorney's going to have to prove that we are this person at the end of the day. I could invite your attorney here. I would love to meet your attorney. You know what? I'm going to say this again. You have until the end of this month for an attorney to contact me. And I mean a real attorney, not no fake attorney like Fernando's fake attorneys. Real 100% bona fide attorney reach out to me. I will post a note, by the way. You know I do that. So have an attorney reach out to me and say, hey, Mr. Burr, you're being sued for this, blah, 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 blah. Because I know attorneys at the end of the day. They're going to ridicule you first. Because I know the reason why they're going to ridicule you, because our attorneys are going to do it to you. And they're going to ask you what evidence you have that this person's product is fake. They're going to look up my company. And they look up my company, they're going to see all the different testimonies, places we're at, showing up the screen, tons and tons of demonstrations. They're going to drop your case. Because if my product came up looking like anything that Jamie's product or you guys claim to be, there's virtually no way you're going to win that. The batch number alone, you will lose it. So how are you going to beat this? How are you going to do this? Well, like I said, got to the end of the month to have an attorney reach out to me. I've said this before. I've literally had this conversation even with all of them that reach out with an attorney. No one reaches out with me with an attorney at all. Now you may say, you're in a, I can reach out with you guys because we're filing criminal charges against you. We want you in jail. That's why we haven't had any attorneys reach out to you. Matter of fact, Fernando, I did have an attorney reach out to him. That's for the cease and desist orders on to stop touching our stuff. So we had an attorney reach out to him for that, and we had a process server come to this front door. But the rest of you, if an attorney hasn't reached out to you, that means we're in the process of filing heavy criminal charges against you to get you locked up. That's why. Because I was going to file a private criminal complaint, but now that's off the table because we have an investigator that's now looking into everything that's going on. And this one was different. Yeah, broke ass, whatever. This one's different because I told you, when Williams was contacting the building and 3 other people, we know who you are, were threatening people in the building, this is when the Lord told me, take that, go walk to the police station, and it'll be taken care of. And that's what I did. When I walked in there, this was a completely different process. An officer just walked over to us and said, do you need help? And I said, yes, I do. I said, there are individuals threatening people in our building. They're trying to get us kicked out of the building. He said, bring me everything up. I went back. I got all the Williams paperwork. I got a bunch of, a list that we have of people we have on YouTube, that we have your handles and all that. That's all we need is your handle. That's it, because they can track it through your IP address. All your text messages, stuff that we had, and I bought it in one big bag, and I gave it to him. He took it, and he started looking through. He says, okay, I'm going to hand this over to the detectives unit. So they didn't do the file work on it. The detective did the work on it, which makes it worse for you guys. You do know what detectives do, right? They're investigators. Their job is to track down, get all the information together, build a case, and then figure out where each one of you lay your heads at and begin the process of bringing it in front of a judge. That's what they do. So that's what's in that little black bag, or big black bag. All your YouTube handles are in there. This one was different. So now, right here on my table, which I can't show you, I have the officer's name, the detective's name, and I have an incident report that now I can go to the FBI and give them a report and say, hey, there's an open case on these individuals. This is the other stuff they were doing. This is crimes you committed that's FBI worthy. They open up a case on you over there. We go back over to post office inspectors and say, look, I talked to a detectives unit. The individuals we already have charged, they've also contacted the building. We got police involved. I give them that to open up another case on you. All these agencies start sharing information about you guys back and forth, and then they bring it down to a case. Each one's going to file separately. I know the post office has their own thing at the end of the day, so they're going to file separately for you guys. FBI is going to do theirs, and then you're going to have local law enforcement is going to be involved in that. So if you have an attorney, it's because we are taking you to court for criminal charges, get you that massive 20 years, and then we'll come in with a lawyer and we'll sue you. Because you can't go anywhere. Where are you going to go? You're locked up. Then you'll hear from an attorney. Well, you'll hear from an attorney when you're locked up. You'll get a letter. And while you're locked up, telling you being sued by your company, and then another letter probably will go out to your family, whoever is resident of the house, because you're not there anymore, and they'll get a notice that you're getting sued. So that way, when debt collectors pop up at your front door, they can go in and just take what they need to take out of there to equivalence to what you owe us in the lawsuit. And you'll be locked up the entire time while this is happening. Your family will reach out to you and tell you exactly that someone is coming in to take their stuff or your stuff. That's what's going to happen. And you're going to be in the system while all that's going down. And there's nothing you can do about it. Yep, that's how we're handling it. So that's the reason why you haven't heard from the attorney, because we were gathering all this information on you and all the stuff you were doing to get ready for court. That's why. Yeah, you kept sending me dumb messages like, oh, where's your attorney? Where's your attorney? We don't need an attorney. We're filing criminal charges against you. We're going to get you locked up. And you gave us enough information carrying on because you got bold because you think we didn't have an attorney, so blah, 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 blah. And so you decided that I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Oh, yeah. All that evidence now we have. So, unlike you, I have the evidence to prosecute you in court. Where's my evidence? Where's the evidence that you have against me? Well, when you get to court, I'll make sure that it's noted that we have nothing filed against us, nothing at all. We'll have the judge ask you, where is this information? I'm supposed to be this person. Because, again, you're going to have to show something when we get in there. If not, you're going to go to jail for a very long time. I can tell you right now, for what I've seen and the stuff that these guys did, none of you getting 10 years out of this. You're going to be over the 10-year mark. If a conspiracy charge pops up in this, you can pretty much receive a very high charge. Conspiracy charge jumps everything to the roof. It does. Puts all the charges to the roof. Yeah, not going to go well. In a very bad situation. So, where's the evidence from this person? Quite frankly, you did it because you're jealous. That's what it came down to. Fernando's always been jealous of her work. And Fernando, the biggest one who actually started all this, as you said, you stated in that letter, you said, that's why I have been telling everybody on YouTube, it stated that you're the biggest scammer on YouTube. We have a confession of you making that statement right there. We also know that every single individual involved, when an officer or any agency asks me, how do we know this person? We point it back to Fernando. Everything's point back to him. And this is the same person who sent us an email telling us, hey, good luck trying to find me. I don't exist in the United States. I don't have paperwork. So basically, the person who claimed at the end of the day, by his honest opinion, that we are this person, should have said in the email, well, I'll see you in court. I can't wait to show the evidence that you're a scammer. And didn't say that, did he? He sent an email to make it sound like he's running. That's an email when people send you that they're running and they're scared. Good luck trying to find me. I left the state. Good luck trying to find me. I'm not in the country anymore. Good luck trying to find me. Da 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 da. There you go. That's the email he sent. Which I don't even know why he said anything about a server, because we did have a server at your. We know where you're at. You're not going anywhere. Where the frick are you going? Honestly, where are you going? Let me think about that. Where are you going? Can't go to a family's house. There's no way in the world. You have a problem with ICE right now. In customs, you got a big problem now. That email's a confession that you just sent to me. I submitted that already. No, there's just no place you to go. The email was submitted with your license plate on that truck and the dealership where you got it from, showing that's the vehicle you're driving around in now. So where are you going to go? You literally sent me a confession. I told you, I got a friend that works for Border Patrol. He read through that thing and said, it's a confession. They confessed right here. And he's out there and said, challenge accepted. And I sat there and said, well, look, we want to get him to court. Now, Jamie, we don't want you in court. We want to come get you. Forget that at the end of the day. I mean, we're going to sue you anyway. I already paid for that. So I'm going to sue you. But the criminal charges, forget that. Forget the bench warrant. We're going to have Homeland Security come after you. Because you confessed. You literally told me in the email what you were. And then you sent me emails back and forth just saying that, oh, I'm not this person. No. You can't take the one back. You literally said this already. Good luck trying to find me. That explains so much. From the people who analyzed your apartment, and I've had people analyze this apartment, that apartment is so congested and so packed. It's like when you have a person who lives in I hate to put it this way, in a cardboard box, all are carrying a shopping cart. All their belongings are all packed together. You know, that's how his apartment looks. There's just multiple layers of stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff and stuff. And even the timeline he's been there. On top of the fact he's never left the state. Ain't like he broke and don't have any money. He spent $3,500 for a projector. You buy some expensive stuff in the day. But again, you could have been moved out of that place a long time ago. Been moved out of there. They're going to check your work history too. Your work history, jobs you worked at, applications you filled out, all that stuff. Even your taxes. They're going to check all that. I told you, you're in a lot of trouble. There's so many ways they can figure out what hospital you were born at, your social security number, all that stuff. They're going to dig into all that. Because you made that statement. You said you have no paperwork, right? So if I'm a border patrol, or even if I'm basically, say, an ICE agent, and someone made a statement to me like that, and they were committing crimes, you were out there attacking American citizens, and you were acting all bold on YouTube, and you turn around and make a statement that way, yeah, I'm going to start looking into your stuff now, because you literally said you don't have any paperwork, so now I got to go dig into your stuff. You literally put out an open invitation. That's what when I looked at it and I saw, I was like, you got to be kidding me. This guy just sent us an open invitation. So now they got to look into all that. That's why we sent it to the FBI. They got to look into all that. You're claiming to have stuff under other people's names. You know, usually when somebody puts something under somebody else's name, that means at the end of the day, they're undocumented. They don't have any paperwork. There's something they don't have there at the end of the day to be able to meet the criteria to be able to get the item that they want. When you want a car at the end of the day, maybe your credit score is really, really bad. So you have to go to a friend of yours that has a really good credit. Hopefully he does sign for you. And if he says yes, that means you can get the car. Because you have to put it under somebody's name because you don't have the credit to get it. That's why people put stuff in their name. But the way you stated was, hey, good luck trying to find me. I don't have paperwork. You're right. I am a legal alien. I am illegal here in the United States, which means you state that you are not supposed to be here. And then you turn around and you say that all my stuff is under someone else's name. See, Fernando, this is where I say you're not a very intelligent human being at the end of the day. I'm pretty sure intelligent in other areas, but in this you're just not. First things first, if you're putting something under someone's name, usually it's property, cars, something like that. That's under someone's name. Everyday stuff like laptops, computers, no. You put that in a will. You can put that stuff in a will for someone to have after you die, but it's not something you put under someone else's name. Really, you don't have to do that. They don't ask for that type of credit background check if you're buying a laptop or, you know, PlayStation or whatever stuff at the end of the day, or projector. They don't ask for none of that stuff. You just pay for it. The only time they ask for any kind of a credit report, unless you're going to do something like a monthly payment plan or something like that, they may ask for that. But other than that, no. Just go buy it or whatever. Most places will just let you just buy whatever. But no, that comes down to larger items would have that type of have to put into someone's name, like a home or something like that, or maybe that somebody co-sign. You know what a co-sign is? You probably even know what a co-sign is. Co-sign for an apartment or something like that. Someone can vouch that they have the money to pay for something that you can't pay for. That's what that's for. When you're putting something under somebody's name, or your credit's not good enough and someone's credit may be better than yours, they can go in and co-sign for you and say, hey, look, you can use my credit score, but keep in mind, we all know how that works. If that person doesn't make a payment, that could damage your credit. The vehicle you have is under someone's name because I called it. I called it on camera. I called it on camera before you sent me the letter. I said that it's under someone else's name. It is under someone else's name. And he still has, mind you, but Fernando doesn't understand that it's under someone else's name, but you still have to switch it out. You should know that, but he probably doesn't. You have to get your real title transferred to the vehicle and you have to get your license and all that, because the dealership plates are just temporary for the time being. They give you enough time. That's why people have stuff in the window saying waiting for plates and whatever, so and so and so. Sometimes they'll let that slide, sometimes they don't. You still have to get that transferred over. Still have to get that transferred over from the dealership to your information, which you don't have. Unless a person's going to do it for you. And if a person does it for you, this is the jacked up part, they can take a truck from them. They can easily get a truck out. They can get a free truck. They're still going to have to pay on it, but they'll still get the truck. They can take the truck from him. Because think about it. If the title is in their name, if the truck is in their name, everything's in their name on that truck, and he's driving around the vehicle, they can literally report it stolen. He get locked up. Because he has nothing on the vehicle that claims it's his. Now, he could have paid for it with his own money. Yeah, of course. Could have paid with his own money. But still, at the end of the day, the title is in the person's name. That's it. That's all they're going to see. At the end of the day, that's all they're going to see. Where's the title? He don't have it. He gets pulled over one time in that vehicle, he is done. Somebody can report your plates right now. They can go and put a report on your plates. And if they pull you over and they say, hey, the vehicle was stolen off the lot, they're going to find your vehicle. They're going to basically track you down, probably your address or whatever. And they're going to basically ask you about where did you get the vehicle from, what time did you purchase it, whose name is on it. They're going to ask, first thing they're going to ask for is your license and registration. That's the first thing they're going to ask for. When they grab your license, you're going to go back to the vehicle and slide your ID to that, if you have it, through a computer system. And that computer system is designed to say whether or not you have a warrant or this, that, and the other, That's what all that's for. But anyway, you're going to be under investigation. Now they got to dig through it because now somebody made a report your vehicle stolen. But meanwhile, like I said, when all this stuff pops off for you at the end of the day, yeah, ain't gonna go well for you, man. At all, period. Either way, you're gonna face one or the other: deportation or basically warrants. Because you can't make it to court if you don't have paperwork. You literally just told us you couldn't do it. I can get that to a judge right now. You go to the judge when you go to the lawsuit. Because we know you're not going to show up for the lawsuit. You can't. You don't have paperwork. Look, Your Honor, a person over in California is undocumented. He's been attacking our companies and threatening our family. We do have several agencies that are involved with the individual because it's more than just a lawsuit. It really is. And, yeah, we contacted Immigration and Customs. And you contact Immigration and Customs, it always comes up. Yes, we have. We filed 5 reports with them. And we just got an email him confessing and bragging that why he was not going to be found in court. We're going to show the judge that. Because you literally just told me, good luck trying to find a process server to sue you, right? And we're suing you in court. So when you don't show up, I'm going to make sure the judge reads that email that you sent to us bragging about how you're not going to go to court, how you're not going to sue because you can't be found. You dumb. Why would you send me something like that? That's the dumbest thing you could have did. I can use that against you in court. Oh, no, he's not going to show up. We got an email from him telling him he's not. He's literally saying that he can't be found because he's undocumented. They're going to contact Homeland Security. You didn't think that went thoroughly out, did you, when you sent it? Of course you didn't think it out thoroughly because you listened to Satan. Satan never gives you clear understanding of anything at all whatsoever. He leaves out all the areas for you to get caught in. He didn't tell you at the end of the day that if you don't show up to this lawsuit, we can hand that letter over to a judge and explain why you didn't show up. That's not hearsay. We literally have your email account. And if the judge looks at that and says, oh, okay, I see. He literally said that, good luck suing me. I can't be found, Mr. Bird, did you report this to immigration? Yes, we did, Your Honor. We reported to immigration 5 times, so and so and so. Okay, then we'll put the report. They're going to put the report in. If a judge puts that report in, you are done. If that email hits any one of those agencies or field offices, you are done. You got a confession. You admitted it. That's literally like somebody walking up the ice and saying, hey, I got no documents, got nothing, you can't find me, blah, 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 blah. Look what you just did. And then you want to get mad at other people at the end of the day and say it's their fault. See, Fernando, you got a habit of doing this. This is one of the telltale signs. You have a habit of doing this. You did this with the Network Grade 773 and the Cinemax. You ranted on your channel that there was no way for us to receive that paint from a customer because none of your customers would do that to you. Okay. Anyway, so we had that paint. We did the unboxing. We showed it. His product match Network Grade 773 on camera. We recorded and documented. Fernando went to a fit of rage. I would never, ever, my product would never do that. Not in millions would never do that. What happened? You matched. You matched so well that we got you in a recording removing the videos. Yeah, there you go. And the other video we have on the bare silver screen literally says at the caption, I'm making a copy of this video just in case it goes missing. And it went missing. So you have a habit of doing this. You have a habit of doing this. Like the whole thing when you were screaming and yelling about the address, your address, where a customer got mad at him and posted his address on Facebook. And we found it. And we basically posted it up. Said, look, we found on Facebook. I said, look, we found on Facebook. And he went to this huge, massive rant. Oh, I'm going to sue you for doxing. I got it on recording. Doxing my address and this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 blah. I didn't even know it's your address. I just put it up there. That's all. That's not doxing your address, Fernando. We found it and we put it up there. That's not doxing your address in any way whatsoever. Now, what you did on your website, that is doxing an address. That's what you did. That'll definitely get you in trouble. Because those addresses weren't out there. You found those addresses and posted them. The address we have up there, at the end of the day, was a customer who did that to you. We just basically put it up. And you ranted about, at the end of the day, that doxing your address and I'm going to sue you and blah, 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 blah. You ain't suing nobody. You won't have paperwork. What the freak you talking about suing? And now that we know what we know now about you from your confession, all that trash you were talking down through time about suing somebody and taking someone to court, and you ain't doing nothing at all, period. You ain't doing jack. As you said before, at the end of the day, you're not even a citizen of the United States. How are you going to sue somebody? I am a citizen of the United States. I was born here. So what do you mean you talking about at the end of the day? You're going to get lawyers and stuff. You can't get no lawyer. You don't even know the freaking law to begin with. But getting back that little rant that you went into about your address, somebody went out and made a LLC and turned around and made their address public domain that everybody in the world can now find you. A person who sat there and complained so much about his address made an LLC so everybody can see it. And then you try to do the same thing to me by go back and say, oh, you did the same thing. No, Fernando, this is the reason why. At the end of the day, you don't understand jack about this country. You don't understand nothing at all, period. You have an idea, when we filled out our LLC, it wasn't addressed to our business being under that address. That's the address I had the LLC paperwork shipped to. It got to go somewhere. How else am I going to get my paperwork? That's the address. So when you look up on our documents online, it doesn't state an address. It states a website. Because I'm an e-commerce. Why in the world would I be brick and mortar? I don't have a brick and mortar. Do you even know what a brick and mortar is, Fernando? Probably don't know what a brick and mortar is. It's a physical building. That's what it is. Before you fill out documents, know what the documents are. See, that's you trying to be me at the end of the day. Because we got an LLC. He ran and got an LLC. Oh, look just like him. But the only problem is you don't even understand the paperwork of an LLC. So you wouldn't have put down brick and mortar. You'd have put down e-commerce when your business is online, which means your address would have been included off. It had taken your address off. But there's also another document that you fill out that says, hey, I don't want my address to be public. I want this basically to be, I want to hide this. You didn't fill out that application. It's right there. It's right. And you didn't see that, did you? Oh, of course you didn't see it because you didn't know what you were reading to begin with. You just checking stuff off left and right, like somebody trying to guess a quiz. So basically, you have made your address permanently public domain for everyone to find. Now, can he go in and dissolve the LLC, which you can do? No, he can't dissolve it. He's missing some very important documents. A statement due date's missing. He can't provide the statement due date because Fernando lied on an LLC, which means you committed perjury on an LLC, and an attorney signed off on it, which we're going to reach out to that attorney also too and explain to him your little situation. So with that being said, that document has been missing since 2023. You can't, and I know they're contacting you. I know they're contacting you about that mess. I know them. I know they're definitely contacting you. But do they have your email? Or if they don't, we'll give them your email and all your information, because I got more information on you at the end of the day to basically kind of narrow things down to where that building's at and the information of the building itself. I was able to contact somebody next door and ask them about an apartment may be available, and they gave me the name of the building. Pretty easy to do. But anyway, we'll make sure they're updated on your information that's missing. Because again, you have to contact them because you're missing statement due dates. Now, see, you went into all that ranting about the whole doxing address just to turn around and dox your own address. You did all that complaining about your product never matching network grade 773 when you turn around and you match network grade 773 and everybody saw it. You turn around and you screamed and yelled over YouTube that I'm an American citizen and this, that, and the other, and you sent this text message saying you're an American citizen to put in a confession that you are not an American citizen. That couldn't have been more detailed. If I could imagine how detailed that was. You made it very, very detailed that you were not one. And you committed crimes when you're here. Very serious crimes. So that's all the reason for deportation. So there is a good chance that you're definitely getting sued. That's going to happen. But I'm going to make sure the judge knows you worry about your building, all that stuff, and we make sure they know about the letter. Meanwhile, my fellow Western Border Patrol has a copy of your email. We sent it to him. He's taking care of it on his end. And when I reach out over there to the branch office in California, where ICE is at, I'm going to make sure they get a copy of that email too. Explain to them at the end of the day that we have charges against this individual. He's been attacking our businesses. He's been threatening people over here over in our state. We need something done about this. And he just sent us an email confession bragging about how he can't be found. Meanwhile, Fernando, and all this, guess what you can do? If you're claiming that you're a citizen, which we know you're not, forget it. That's going out the window. Forget all that. There's no even think of entertaining of whether you are. That basically is a confession that you're not at all, period. So with that being said, that means, wait a minute. That means at the time, if you're not, well, we know you're not a citizen. That means you've been driving around without a license? Because I got videos of you on a motorcycle, several cars, and I got one video of you going to Home Depot. You drove out there. Came out of a car. You were driving all the time without a license or no insurance. Ooh, that's not good at all, period. That's definitely going to bring some problems your way. All those different vehicles under somebody else's name, because you said in the video, in the statement, you said all your stuff was under someone else's name. Do you know how much trouble that person can get into? Once they deport him, they're going to go through all those documents, everything that's anyone's name in it, because you made the confession. Those people could possibly go to jail for that mess. That's fraud. If you did it on the intention that he doesn't have documents and he's here illegally and kept committing crimes while he's here, on top of that, you're going to get hit with that nonsense. So whoever's name is under that truck, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. They're going to dig through all that. They're going to go through his PayPal account. They're going to dig through everything. Email accounts, all of it. Who he's been contacting, who he's been talking to, everything. They're going to dig through all that. Well, Fernando, what I just told you a few minutes ago, again, if you feel that I'm all these things, guess what you do? Well, you can't come to court. We know that. You can't even, no point in saying get an attorney. You can't do that. You need state ID to get an attorney. Did you know that? You didn't look that up, did you? Everybody knows that. Anyone who got an attorney knows that at the end of the day, you have to have state ID. Everybody knows that. Anytime you go see an attorney, the first thing they ask, you got ID on you? Yes, I do. They scan it, give it right back to you. Everybody knows that. So how do you got an attorney and you don't have no paperwork? And then literally, he flip-flopped. He sent me one that says that unfortunately, that you're a United States citizen, so you're saying that, oh, yeah, unfortunately, I'm an American. He literally just basically spit on y'all at the end of the day. Spit on your flag by saying, unfortunately. Like it's a bad thing to be an American. Everybody read that like, what the freak he mean by unfortunately? Unfortunately, Jamie Fernando is an American citizen. Unfortunately? Wow, you people that are on his channel right now, y'all are sheep. This guy that went and ripped off your companies, laughed about it, ripped you off in screen paint. Turn around and sent us a video, sent us an email telling me, hey, you can't find me. I don't have paperwork. Good luck on that. That's actually towards you too also too. Like good luck on trying to hit me with any complaints about my paint or anything else because I don't have any paperwork. You can't find me. And then turn around and say, unfortunately? He's an American citizen? Unfortunately? Really? You guys have got flags sitting up there in front of your house. You're Fernando's followers. You got flags in front of your house. Maybe some family in the military. And the joker just sat there and said, unfortunately. Wow. I wonder what your family members would say that are basically in the armed forces. about your opinion about supporting someone who came to our country to rip us off. And literally bragged about it in an email of stating that he could not be found because he has no documents, no records whatsoever. I wonder how they would feel about that. Well, if you happen to pop up in court, pretty sure they're going to be to read about what you did at the end of the day, so that's not going to go well. Gee whiz Louise, man. That's why I call y'all traitors. Traitors of the United States. That's what I call y'all. That's what you are. You're a traitor. Now, for people sit there and say, you're saying, no. Fernando's not like the everyday Mexican. He's not. No, he's not. He's far from it. See, I got Mexican friends at the end of the day. You will never know who they are. And some of them you don't want to know who they are. But anyway, very nice people at the end of the day. Mind their own business. Work hard. Make their money. Come home, see their kids. They're like everybody else. That's what they are. Everybody else. Like any other person, everybody else. They're not out there ripping people off. They're not out there printing out people's licensed material and going out and threatening United States citizens and all. They ain't doing any of that whatsoever. They minding their own business, low key, make their money, try to get their citizenship, and move on. That's it. This joker did everything you could possibly think under the sun. So for him to sit there and basically try to compare himself to any form of Mexican immigrant that comes here and is trying to do something better for his kids and his family, that is a slap in the face. Everybody who saw your activity, Fernando, even my Mexican brothers, sit there and said that you are a black stain to their race, because you, at the end of the day, make them look bad. You make them look bad. You have done everything that any magger on the face of the planet would claim a Mexican to be. Oh, you can't trust them. They'll scam you, they'll rip you off, they'll steal from you. They're a threat to American citizens. You have literally done this yourself, of trying to make your own people look bad, because that's what it looks like. And then got a nerve to sit up there and say at the end of the day, oh, I'm for my people. Well, no, you're not. No, you're not. If I sent out bulk emails to each one of those people out there protesting in the street, I wouldn't put your address. They'd murder you. And show them the stuff you were doing. You think any one of those people out there right now that are trying to get the right to be to stay here and get jobs and good education for their kids, you think any one of those protesters right now are going to sit there and look at your nonsense and say, I'm on board with what you're doing? Not one person will do that. You make your own people look bad. Everyone saw it. That's why he been dubbed a nickname by his own people. They call him Mexican Trump. I wouldn't be surprised if you voted for Trump. You probably did. And some of the people you claim to be your friends at the end of the day, they're MAG supporters. Because I've gotten text messages from them. Which means they can't stand you. They can't wait for you to get deported. That's why they're probably supporting everything you're doing at the end of the day, because they can't wait to get rid of you. They probably called ICE on you a couple of times trying to figure out ways. But the thing about it is they can't. You know why? Because whatever you put in those statements, they have to be real. If you have real criminal charges, if he's done all this stuff, evidence, you have to have that information in there. Or you can go to jail. You can get hit with a perjury charge. That has to be in there. So that's probably the reason why they can't put a false complaint on them. So when you sit there and you make a statement that, oh, he called ICE on me. Yeah, Jamie, we did call ICE on you. One, you're a criminal. That's what you are. We didn't call ICE on you because you're Mexican. We called ICE on you because you are a criminal. You're an illegal criminal. You came here to this country. Did you try to do anything positive since you've been here? No, you've done nothing but rip off the American people. That's what you did. You scammed and ripped off the American people. So that's why ICE was contacted. So we had to go through the list of what you were doing. We were able to fill out 5 reports against you showing you were committing this activity. And not only did we fill those reports out, Fernando, those videos are on YouTube. They're on different social media platforms like Facebook, clearly showing you committing these acts to back up everything we just said. So there's that right there. So for the purpose of what they're really supposed to do is basically remove people out of the country that are a threat to United States citizens. You are a threat to United States citizens. That's what you are. So for us to call them, yeah, we did call them. Admit that 100% we did. And now we have your email with your confession attached to it. Now people see why we called them. You sat there and stated and bragged about how you could do what you want to do. And you could just disappear. No one can find you. All your stuff is under somebody else's name. Good luck trying to find me. I can go rob your house. I can go steal your car. I can do whatever I want to do because you can't find me because I ain't got the paperwork. Good luck. That's literally what he sent to us. Yeah. That's what ICE is needed for that particular purpose. Anything else? No. Snatching people off the street? No. That's bullcrap. But for what you fit the description of a person who needs to be deported. Gave Maggers mad information. Doing that nonsense. He gave Maggers mad information to use your videos and stuff as a campaign to improve or fund ICE. You literally are out there doing all these crimes. So you're like a cancer in the U.S., Fernando. That's what you are. You're a cancer. And we plan to have you removed. And since I've gotten what I wanted, because I prayed on this, I prayed on the problems you were having with you to the Lord. Now, Lord, let us know your secret. You know everything about you. And we just needed enough hardcore evidence to have you removed. The cooperating stuff that is there, but this right here is perfect. That confession is absolutely perfect. So now we have a confession. It's linked to your email account. You've had that account for quite some time, which means show that the account dates back for many, many years. Showing you use the account in business. It's been in PayPal accounts. It's been contacting receipts. We have multiple receipts with that email attached to it. It is your email. Can't say somebody else made your own. That's virtually impossible. You can't do that. Everybody knows that. You can't make duplicate emails. And any from an email, Hotmail account, Gmail, Yahoo, you can't do that. For security protocols, they don't let you do it. So, that is your email. And that being said, that is your confession. And that's all we need. That's the last piece we need to get rid of you. So, you gave it to us. And goodbye. Because as I said before, right now as we speak, it's going out to agencies. As a matter of fact, I got to contact somebody at 9 o'clock to send over and talk to them about what you're doing. And yeah, you did threaten United States citizens. Are you an American citizen? No, you're not. So that means if you're not an American citizen, and I'm an American citizen, everybody else over here you contacted and carried on with and family with, they're all citizens of the United States. Which means you came here, you're illegal, and you attacked American citizens. Docs my sister's address. She's an American citizen. You attacked her. Attacked people's businesses. They're also American citizens that you attacked. And enough of this we've seen right now pretty much makes you a terrorist. That's what you just did. That's terrorism right there. You contacting businesses and making threats. And then you're incorporating other people to no, yes, that's terrorism right there. I got a business myself, Fernando. All my stuff is registered. You attacked American company. If I can vouch in court, show a judge, like, yeah, American company, this is my business tax ID number, this is my LLC, I got a business license over here. This guy's been attacking my company. I'm an American citizen at the end of the day, and this guy's been attacking my company. You're a terrorist. Well, that being said, gentlemen, I look forward to hearing from your attorneys at the end of the month, or somewhere in between somewhere. If you claim you have all this evidence against me, hey, bring it. I want to see it. But you don't have anything, which we know, and we know when we get to court, so I'm going to finish all that up, get you guys taken care of, and get you guys put away. So you guys think it's the money at the end of the day. The money is just basically icing on the cake. It's just basically going to sue you anyway, because that's part of the whole process. It's your time we want. Time is very, very more valuable than money. Money you can always get back. Time you can't. That's why we want time. And I'm asking the judge for what we've been through and everything else we had to go through with all the individuals involved. We want a minimum of 20 years. So, if you have any evidence, like you claim you have it in the day, let's see it. Get a lawyer and contact us. Because I will post it, just so you know. Nothing, right? Nothing at all. Oh, you can't get a lawyer to contact. You know why? Because we don't have your address. Yeah, that won't work well. So you have to get a lawyer your real address. That's how that works too. Can't give them somebody else's address. You have to give them your address. And you can't give out your address because you committed crimes. You see that right there? We know at the end of the day everything there is about you, even sometimes how you think at the end of the day. You can never get an attorney. None of you can never get an attorney. Because that means if you get an attorney, that means we'd have access to your address. We have to have somewhere to send our documents to from our lawyers. So either private investigators find you and track you down, one of our cyber investigators track you down and find you, or if you feel that you got the evidence to take Mr. Bird to court and everything you said was true, that means all you would have to do is just basically get an attorney to reach out to us, and we'll have your address. But you can't do that. Why? Because you don't have any evidence, and you lied about the entire thing. So that means you're screwed in court. Man, that's going to be something to ponder when you go to work today, isn't it? Imagine you when you go to work, what you got to think about. Some of you that got caught, and some of you are basically in the process of getting caught. Imagine the heavy weight that's on you right now when you go back and forth from work, when you see your families every day, that you got a lawsuit coming your way, and there's a good chance that you could spend 20 years in the prison system because you followed that guy. All right, food for thought. Got to go.